Joe Williams is a proud Vietnam veteran and says his service in the 60th Area Port supply chain was the best time of his life.
We supplied everybody everywhere on the Pacific coast. So I enjoyed it. Wouldn't trade a thing.
But after 40 years on the West Coast, this Southern gentleman made his way back home to be close to family.
I came back to Georgia in '87. So then I lived in Acworth. Then when my mother passed, I moved in with my brother.
The management of his mother's mortgage on this modest home fell on his older sister, Eleanora Hill. But when she passed 4 years ago, the responsibility of the home finances shifted to the next generation.
So that puts me in charge.
Eugene Hill is Joe's nephew. On paper, he's the executor of the estate.
Another relative was supposed to take on that responsibility, and they failed to do so. And by the time I got involved, the company was trying to foreclose on the house.
So as his Uncle Joe started to wage his second battle with cancer, Eugene went to war with Specialized Loan Servicing.
Welcome to SLS,
a Colorado loan company that was managing the estate's mortgage loan.
I asked for a payoff quote. They said it would take 7 to 10 days. 7 to 10 days came maybe 6 months later.
When he finally did receive the quote, the total amount was $1,750.
I had told him all I want to do is pay it off. It went up to $2,400. So that's what I sent him the check for.
But a few weeks later, the check was returned.
Said they needed more information. So I gave them the information they asked for and sent it back again.
10 days later, Eugene received the uncashed check again, rejected because SLS then told him they only accepted cashier's checks.
So my thoughts were, well, if that's what you needed, why didn't you tell me that in the beginning when you said you didn't have enough information? But they sent it back again. I didn't know what else to do after that.
Did you get a feeling like they really didn't want this mortgage paid off?
I'm confident they didn't want it paid off.
They taking our money and gonna foreclose on us too? Something ain't right about that.
It may seem like a crazy notion, a loan service not wanting to collect on a loan. But according to attorney Rick Allenbeck, Eugene's circumstances are not unusual.
It's very common. People are abused by their mortgage servicers on a pretty regular basis.
Allenbeck deals extensively with homeowners facing mortgage and lender disputes.
It's basically a full-time job.
He says the delay methods used by some loan service companies are deliberate.
Normally you would think a lender would rather keep the loan alive, work with the borrower, try to maintain a continuous flow of revenue from the loan, but that's just not how the dynamic works in this business. There's a less incentive to work with the borrower than to simply just foreclose on them.
That's because some loans, like the one on Joe's home, are not considered high performing, and the lending company stands to make more money by foreclosing versus managing the loan.
What may have been, say, a $100,000 loan on a $120,000 home, which they bought back for $100,000 on paper, they could resell it on the open market for, say, $120,000. And that $20,000 is theirs. They don't have to give it back to the borrower. Making
the process for the borrower to pay off the loan nearly impossible.
I even asked the guy, what are you trying to do? You just trying to take the house for nothing? Oh no, I promise you, we don't work like that. Well, that's exactly what they were doing.
With nowhere else to turn, Eugene sent an email to Inside Investigations, and our team connected him with an attorney.
It was a great relief. Great relief. I did exactly what he said. He said, do this, I did it. He said, don't do this, I don't do it. And I just had the confidence that it was going to work out.
With the help of the attorney, Eugene reached a settlement with SLS that will allow Joe to remain in his home for the foreseeable future.
I don't even think I could actually put it in words how much that would mean to me. See, because ain't nothing like family home.